Hi, Kathy here from KathysKuteKreations with week 2 of For the Most Part, and today we're going to be doing Christmas tree blocks. You'll have 2 sheets that you should have downloaded that came in your email if you are following along. They look like that. Now, what I've done is I have my things, if you watched last week, on the design board. So these are the 4 fabrics we're using, A, B, C, and D, and you can lay them out so that on your board. Use your fabric sorting week, and hopefully you have cut all of your fabric for the entire 5 weeks. We don't want to do it 1 week at a time because you might come up short. All right, so let's go ahead and begin, and we're going to be making 8 of these blocks. And you know, close up here, it looks just like that, so it's not going to be hard. I'll make one, you guys will finish making the next 7, and then we'll lay them out here and we'll see what we got. Here is my board with all the creams, the brown, and the 2 greens. And we will be doing one. The very first one is going to be the flying geese. You look right here, you can see no tips taken off. But as we move along, we're going to take a tip off here. So we'll be sewing it differently. So the darkest fabric, darkest green in my case, is what I'm using for this flying geese. I'm going to make like the one here. You need your 3 by 3 inch squares on each side. We're going to mark them first on the wrong side. You can mark them with whatever you want. You're not going to see it. And then we're going to adhere it to these, and I'll show you how to do that if you've never done this before. I'm going to put it on the right hand side. Make sure that this is coming from the middle to the right hand corner, not from the corner down. Okay, let's go ahead and sew that. Now, since my last project, I went ahead and I've already cleaned out my machine. So if y'all need to do that, go ahead and do that before you get started. You'd be surprised how fast that gets dirty underneath there. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess. And then I'm going to situate this one on the left-hand side, and you can do right or left, makes no difference. And we're going to sew it. We are creating a flying geese, or goose, however you want to say it. All right, we have one of our flying geese. So go ahead, finish up all the rest of yours, so then we'll just make each individual thing at one time. This way we can piece the whole thing together. I have all my flying geese done, and now it is saying to take these rectangles. They're 3 by 4, and we're going to put them on each side. And if you need to re-iron them, which I'm going to do right there because I pinched the little bit of mark there from the lip, and it's going to look like that when you get finished. That's the first row. So let's go ahead and do that. Make sure that you have the right sides together. And it's not very hard to see the right side on this one because it's a lot lighter on the other side. All I did was pressed it outward, so it's going out. Excuse me. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other 7 before I start the next row. All right, so we're going to take the lighter green, which is our C, and this is 3 by 7.5, and we're going to attach our 3 inch squares like the flying geese. They're calling this a partial flying geese, so we're going to have to mark the sides, the back side, just like we did before. We're going to mark them like that, and then when we're done making that, that's called a partial flying goose or geese, and then we're going to put the 3 inch squares on the end. So let's do one of them right now. Okay, we're going to repeat the same thing just like before with our flying geese. So this morning I got up, had a cup of coffee. My granddaughter came over. She's getting ready to take Leo with her. So she gathered up some of his stuff, and after she left, I had a cucumber somebody gave out of their garden. The cleaning lady gave it to us out at work, so I took 2 home, one for me and one for Sherry. So I made a cucumber salad. Now, I made a cucumber salad the other day, but I changed it and made a different kind this time. And I also made a tomato salad because I had bought those little, they're the little round tomatoes, but they're the ones that are like, they're called, I don't know if they're called sugar snacking or something. It's something new I just discovered. So I made a really good tomato salad. I'm trying to keep an eye on my camera here on my phone because my phone is low. Now I'm putting the two corners on. I'm calling them the corners. They're the ends. There's our second row. I'm going to go ahead and do all of them. So we have the first row done. Not done, but the first row. Yeah, we have the first row done, but just not put together. And then there's the second. Now, if you want, you could stop and put these together. It just depends on whatever you want to do. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the other 7 because there's 8 of these also. And then I'll come back and we'll start on the third row. There's actually 5 total rows. So we're going to start on row 3. Right, starting on the third partial flying goose for row 3. So in my, So while I'm working on the other blocks, I'm actually watching a TV show. The problem is it's real time, so I can't pause it. Now these end pieces are not 3-inch squares because that would be too big. They are the 2 1/4, which is 2.75 by the 3-inch square. Because the 3-inch square is the length of our, or the height, whatever you want to call it, of this strip. And again, make sure you're matching your fabrics so it's right sides together. And I did change my needle in case I didn't mention that earlier. I changed it out for this project. Actually, my needle makes a little bitty thumping noise. I mean, I can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it through the camera, but when I hear that, I know that even though I can't feel a burr on my needle, I go ahead and I changed it because I did try to take my little, you know, the little pin cushions that's got the little strawberry hanging off. Those have stuff on the inside for you to sharpen your needles or your pins, but even though I did it, it still didn't work. It still made a noise on my machine, so it's better off just to change that needle out. Okay, so there's your third row. So we're going to put this one aside also, and we're going to go ahead and finish up the 7, and then we'll come back and we'll start the 4th row. Here is our 4th row, and the directions say 3 by 105 inch rectangle, but it means a 10.5. They just left the point out. I'm going to show you here. In case y'all saw that, the point's missing, but that's okay. We got it figured out. And then we're going to put our 3-inch squares. We're going to do the same thing. Make those partial geese, and then we're going to put our little corner. These are the corners, so there are 3, which is this direction, by 1.5 on the edge to make the strip. Let's go ahead and do that. Take a break real quick and run the dogs out to the bathroom. I don't know if he was out there in the hallway. I don't know if he was getting sick on something or drooled or something because the floor was all wet. He didn't go to the bathroom or anything. He went outside to the bathroom. I'm gonna have to get to the Sherwin-Williams store because I need to buy some, I think, oil-based sealant for my brand new steps. Now, my contractor told me I don't need to worry about my front steps because they're just cement, but the back need to be treated. Either paint them or something. I don't want to just leave them to the weather. So. Now let's go ahead and cut this. By the time we get down to putting these teeny weeny little, I guess you call them cornerstones, they look really small, but they're just half the size of the 3-inch. Now we're going to iron it and we're going to take a look at it. There it is. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the other 7, and then we're going to get that last row done that's got the stem in it, our brown fabric. All right, here's the one we're going to make. So we're going to take our cream and our brown and our cream, whatever you're using for brown if you don't have this kit and don't have these fabrics. And we're going to do one, and then you guys are going to do the other side. You note on the fabric, and I'm going to show you when I get finished here, it actually has a direction, so I'll show you on a separate piece, and I'm making mine go up and down. Depending on your own fabric, this is what I was talking about. It looks like it's going up and down instead of sideways. So pay attention to yours unless you want it to go whatever way. And I'll show you the back. So this looks like it's going crossways, and this looks like it's going up and down. Okay. All right, so go ahead and make the rest of these, and then we're going to actually put our rows together. Here it is all laid out, and we're going to put it together one row at a time. Now I'm going to sew these two, then I'm going to sew these two, and then I'm going to sew the last one. So you want to make sure and mark your tips. So there's a tip on each of these. Here's a tip. Put my pin right here. Put my ruler up here. Let me make sure I can see it now. Yeah, there we go. I go right down to the edge where the two pieces, the two threads are attaching. So I'm going to try to do this. And so here's the thread. It comes up like this, and then it crosses over like that. Put your pin right in the middle, put your ruler right up to it, just like that, and then draw across just like that, so that when you sew, you're sewing a 1/4 inch, it's coming down, it goes right across that. It'll avoid taking your tip off. You're going to have 2 on this one, so I've marked it. 2 on this one, I marked it, and that's it. Okay, so we're going to sew these 2 sets, and then we'll attach it. Hope everybody has had fun doing this. Now, if you've watched some of my other videos, I did this exact same thing, but on a larger scale when I made that Christmas tree that was really, really big. But this is the exact same way that I created it with the ends, the different block or the different rectangles. Just pin it wherever you need to pin it. If you're not a pinner and you're a clipper, then just clip it. I'm just going to chain stitches and take the next 2. So this is 3 and 4. Now this project will take you a few hours to make, whether you're watching something or listening to music or whatever, because you know it's 8 whole total blocks. Just figure out how you're going to do them. Ooh, almost went over that pin, didn't I? Now, when I iron these, I always like to iron them downward. You have to mark it twice, once here and once here. And there's no nestling anything. I'm not nestling any kind of seams. I only had to mark the 2. Okay, let's go ahead and sew. So I was looking around in my sewing area here for a tub that has all of my Halloween fabrics in it. I was going to make a mug rug and another thing. And for the life of me, I cannot find the tub. And it was one that was, and it's not a small tub either, it's a good size. One of them was full of Halloween and one's full of Christmas. And for the life of me, I cannot find them, and I don't know what the heck I've done with them. So I'm going to have to really scour the rooms here to figure out what the heck I did with them. I wanted to make myself a little Halloween mug rug of some sort to take to work to switch out the one I have. I put it on my desk. I have a little saucer, the one I have my bagel or something. Anybody else have that issue in their sewing room? Sometimes I think I have way too much stuff and I don't know what I did with it. I mean, I cleaned up everything because I made room over there. The problem is I don't know what the heck I did with it after I made all that room. So it should look like this, and we just got to put this to it. And there's nothing to mark on any of this. We're going to mark this because, see, there's a tip right here. And here's a tip right there. And I'll just flip this over. I'll mark it. And then I'll attach this to it. So right here and right here, way off to the end here. At the tail end of this video, I'll take a picture of Bandit and show you. I mean, I already took the picture, but I'll show you where he was laying. He's been going downstairs, and then he's down there for a minute, then he's back up here, and he's down there, and he finally ended up bringing a little toy, and believe it or not, it is a Christmas tree toy. Has a little squeaker in it, and he's on the other side of the table right now. He loves those squeak toys. I had a lot of fun making this square here. And he tried to chew on my slippers. He found them over there on the other side of the table, but I got them away from him. Gave him a stern talking to. Yes, I did. There it is. And go ahead and finish the rest of yours. And here is all the rest of mine. I did them already. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. And I will see you next week for week 3 for the most part. And this block should measure 12.5 by 12.5. And that's all the blocks. 8 of them. I'll see you next week. Give me a thumbs up. You can comment, subscribe if you haven't yet. Click the little bell so you get notifications. If you're not getting the notifications, it's probably dropped off, which it does happen. I've already went through mine, and some of mine have dropped off and had to reconnect them with my the people that I subscribe to. And I'll see you next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Here's that tomato that I was talking about, the tomato salad. It's got garlic, Vidalia onions, which are sweet onions if y'all don't know, basil, sweet basil, and a little bit of salt and pepper and olive oil. My light's out, that's the reason there's the shadow. And here is the cucumber salad. And that is fresh cucumbers out of a garden. Oh my gosh. They are absolutely delicious, just so you know. I just wanted to show you real quick because lots of times people talk about the food they made or something. It's like, gosh, could you all just show us the food you made? But anyway, there you go. I just want to put that clip in there real quick for you. And there's Lainey, my little girl, my little old lady. Whoop, and now there's Bandit. He says, I got to be in the picture too. You talked. Yeah, say I talked. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. Take care.